Chosen soul, the universe has orchestrated this encounter because you belong to a very select group of individuals who have been marked by suffering, yet blessed with a purpose you don't fully comprehend yet. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to glide through life untouched by real hardship, while others like yourself must endure trials that appear to exceed all boundaries of fairness? Have you questioned why those who wounded you continue forward as if nothing happened while you carried the weight of their actions in profound silence? If you're here, it means you've walked through experiences that didn't just shape your character, but transformed your very soul in ways that cannot be undone. You've been tested by those you trusted most deeply. You've tasted betrayal from people who were supposed to be your sanctuary. You've felt pain inflicted by those who claimed to love you. Before we go deeper, I need you to do something important. Subscribe to this channel right now, because what we share here isn't ordinary content. And tell us in the comments what city you're listening from, because I want you to know this message is reaching chosen souls across the English-speaking world. There exists an invisible ledger where every action, every tear, every moment of violated justice gets recorded with precision that surpasses any human documentation system. This ledger isn't maintained by mortal hands, but by the very fabric of reality itself. Every act of cruelty against the innocent is registered with accuracy that would shame the most sophisticated earthly courts. You, person listening to me, have been selected to play a unique role in this cosmic drama. You weren't chosen as a victim, but as someone whose soul possessed the strength to transform suffering into wisdom, pain into power, betrayal into discernment. While others crumbled under life's pressures, you found ways to not only survive, but maintain your humanity. When others responded to evil with greater evil, you chose a path requiring extraordinary inner strength, the path of forgiveness without apology, the path of dignity despite humiliation. Every night you spent questioning the injustice of your fate was actually a night your soul underwent alchemical transformation. Every tear you shed in solitude was a drop that purified your heart from the toxic energy left by those who harmed you. But now comes the moment of truth that changes everything. Time operates in your favor in ways you cannot fully grasp. The universe possesses its own justice system that is infallible and inevitable. It doesn't operate on human schedules, but according to laws older than civilization itself. Those who wronged you will not escape consequences, not because you desire it, but because they activated a mechanism that must now restore balance. The person who betrayed you is beginning to experience betrayal in their own life. The one who exploited your goodness is discovering what it feels like to be used. Someone who humiliated you is now facing their own public shame. But the real miracle isn't in their downfall, it's in your ascension. While they're harvesting what they planted, you've been growing, strengthening, developing wisdom that only comes from walking through fire and emerging not burned, but purified. Your silence wasn't weakness, it was cosmic strategy. Your patience wasn't naivety, it was ancestral wisdom. Your capacity to forgive didn't make you a victim, it transformed you into a teacher. The universe was sculpting within you a superior version of who you thought you were. Share in the comments if you're recognizing these signs in your own life. Have you noticed how the people who harmed you are beginning to experience their own difficulties? Have you seen how your life, despite the pain endured, is reorganizing towards something better? Now comes the part you really need to understand. You weren't marked by suffering to remain there. You were processed by it to emerge as something completely different. You're like a diamond that needed extreme pressure to reveal its true brilliance. You're like gold that required passing through fire to separate from impurities. The energy you generated during your darkest moments has been accumulating. Every time you chose dignity over revenge, every time you maintained integrity despite provocations, every time you forgave without being asked, you were feeding a force that's now ready to manifest in your life in extraordinary ways. People who once looked at you with disdain will begin seeing you with respect. Those who doubted your worth will start recognizing your true dimension. The ones who mocked your goodness will realize that goodness was actually a form of power they could never comprehend. Your transformation won't be loud or dramatic. It will be like sunrise, gradual, inevitable, impossible to stop. One day you'll simply realize you're no longer the same person who began this journey. You'll have developed a presence that inspires, wisdom that guides, strength that protects not only yourself but others going through what you experienced. True power isn't in destroying those who hurt you, but in constructing a version of yourself so solid, so authentic, so luminous, that your very existence becomes the perfect answer to all doubts they ever had about your worth. There's something deeply poetic about universal justice. Those who believed they could extinguish your light now find themselves navigating their own darkness. While they struggle with consequences of their actions, you've become a lighthouse, illuminating the path for others weathering similar storms. The most elegant revenge isn't hatred, it's elevation. Not the destruction of others, but your own construction. Not proving how evil others can be, but demonstrating how extraordinary you can become. Every scar you carry is now a medal of honor. Every tear you shed has crystallized into wisdom. Every moment you felt alone and abandoned was actually the universe preparing you for something far greater than you could imagine. And now, from your new position, from this upgraded version of yourself, you can look back and understand that everything, absolutely everything, had purpose. You weren't punished for being good. You were trained to be extraordinary. You weren't marked by tragedy. You were selected for greatness. The same people who once questioned your value now observe your transformation with mixture of awe and regret. Some will try approaching again, but you've learned discernment. You know how to recognize true intentions from false ones. Your heart remains noble, but your mind has become astute. Life taught you that not everyone deserves access to your energy, that not all people can handle the responsibility of knowing your true essence. You've learned to be generous without being naive, kind without being vulnerable, strong without being cruel. But your process extends beyond just yourself. Your transformation radiates to others, creating energy waves that touch everyone who encounters your new presence. You've become a catalyst for positive change in others' lives, often without even realizing it. People meeting you now get the impression they've encountered someone exceptional. They can't exactly pinpoint what's different about you, but they sense you carry a kind of wisdom that doesn't come from books, but from life fully lived with all its joys and pains. Your story has become a bridge of hope for others struggling with similar challenges. When they see how far you've traveled in your transformation journey, they understand they too can overcome their current difficulties. The invisible marks you carry can only be seen by other graduates of the same Academy of Suffering, transformed into wisdom. You've developed an almost supernatural intuition for detecting people's true intentions. You can no longer be easily deceived because you've learned to read the secret codes of human behavior. This new ability you've developed isn't coincidence. It's your graduation gift from the University of Pain. You now possess something very few people have, the capacity to see through appearances, to detect authenticity from a distance, to feel vibrations of hidden intentions. People who once underestimated you now sense something different when near you. They can't explain it in words, but they perceive you're no longer the same vulnerable person they knew before. There's new energy in you, a presence that inspires respect without needing to impose it, silent authority that comes from having walked through shadow valleys and emerged enlightened. Subscribe to this channel if these words are resonating with your soul, because here we speak directly to people like you who have been forged in experience's fire and emerged not as victims, but as spiritual warriors. Hit like if you feel this message arrived at exactly the moment you needed to hear it. The final truth you need to integrate is this: your process hasn't ended. It's been perfected. Now you're not someone who's healing, but someone who heals. You're not someone learning to be strong, but someone whose strength inspires strength in others. The circle completes when you understand that all the pain you experienced had an ultimate destination, preparing you to be exactly who the world needs you to be at this moment in history. Not at any moment, but precisely now, when so many souls are awakening to similar truths and need real testimonies of transformation. Now I ask you, chosen soul, are you ready to fully embrace not just your new version, but also your new mission? Are you prepared to stop seeing yourself as someone who overcame adversities and start recognizing yourself as someone prepared to guide others through their own adversities? The universe owes you nothing because it already gave you everything you needed: experience, wisdom, strength, mission, and now understanding of your true cosmic purpose. You're not a survivor of your story. You're the architect of your destiny and mentor to other architects in formation. Someone who once hurt you is now facing their own cosmic medicine. But you no longer need to know details of their process, because your attention is completely focused on building your new kingdom and expanding your new mission. A kingdom where you reign not by destroying enemies, but by reconstructing yourself from the deepest self-love, where your crown isn't made of revenge, but of wisdom conquered and generously shared. What they thought was a clever plan became their own spiritual trap. What they hoped would ruin you became their reflection. And now, while your light continues rising with grace, they're drowning in shadows they invited themselves. They didn't just mess with a person, they mishandled a test. And that test has now become a mirror they can't look away from. Let them sit in the silence they created. Let them wrestle with guilt they laughed through. You keep glowing, keep rising, keep healing, because the crown they tried to snatch wasn't handed to you by man. It was forged through pain, protected by purpose, and placed on your head by hands they cannot touch. This isn't a comeback story. This is divine justice in real time. And the same people who once laughed at your perceived downfall are now being haunted by your undeniable rise. That is your peace, chosen one. That is your victory. That is your divine vindication unfolding before your very eyes. So now, chosen soul, as you stand at the threshold of your new chapter, understand this: your journey was never meant to break you. It was designed to awaken you. You are no longer just a survivor of pain, betrayal, or injustice. You are living proof that the universe transforms the broken into the unshakable. You are no longer walking in the shadow of what was done to you. You are walking in the light of who you've become. You've been sculpted in silence, strengthened in solitude, crowned by experience. And now you radiate a presence that speaks louder than any words ever could. So don't look back for revenge. Look forward with purpose. Don't wait for apologies that will never come. Stand tall in your rebirth. Don't explain your healing to those who mocked your pain. Become the living example they never expected to witness, because this isn't about them anymore. This is about you, your power, your presence, your purpose, your rise. And if this message found you at the exact moment you needed it, it's because it was meant for you. You are not alone. You are not broken. You are not forgotten. You are chosen, and it's time you live like it. If your soul feels this truth, subscribe right now. Not for me, but for yourself. Because this space is for warriors like you. Those who turn pain into power and trials into transformation. Tell us in the comments what part of this message resonated most deeply with you. Let us know where in the world you're listening from, because chosen souls are awakening everywhere. And your light is part of something much bigger than you ever imagined. This isn't just a video, it's a movement. And your story, yes, your story, is proof that divine justice is not only real, it's unfolding right now. We'll rise together.